Today we are going to see through this simulation lab how high intake of sodium can affect the blood pressure and how our kidney responds to it. Meanwhile, we'll study the basics of the kidney functioning, the mammalian kidney functioning. And the basic unit of kidney functioning is this nephron. This is also called as uriniferous tubules, this yellow one you are seeing, and this stretches all along from this section through the kidney, and this stretches from cortex to the medulla all the way around, and this is surrounded by a bunch of capillaries. So our purpose today is to briefly see how the sodium moves along the kidney tubule. This is called as tubule, and how the sodium is reabsorbed and reabsorbed by active transport, and how passively our water diffuses out into the blood, and that has an effect in raising the blood pressure. Previously you also saw that the blood pressure rise was because the osmotic pressure of the blood rising, and there are certain other factors to it, but sodium is a principal factor which can increase the blood pressure. So with this lab, as we are starting with this lab, you have to be watching all these through all these steps, and you will make as you understand a particular step, you have to answer on your response sheet. So there are about 20 questions that you have to fill in and that you have to answer properly, and you need understanding of this, and with your previous knowledge you can answer that. And in the following project, as I discussed with you, we have survey of about 40 years of adults. So once you finish with this lab, you will get an adequate knowledge of how sodium is going to participate in the in elevating the blood pressure. So let's go. This is a nephron, and basically it's explaining in this step that I'm just getting a brief shot of it so that you can read all this information right here. So and you can then I'm trying to focus your attention on certain points of your relevance or importance, so that help you answer and understand the concepts. So here this unit is called as the Bowman's capsule, and this is called as the proximal tubule, and this yellow one, as I told you, is all tubule, and the filtrate passes through this tubule. This is long as the loop of Henle. As you will see in the next picture, you will see that loop of Henle will come in and here actually in the proximal tubule some of the sodium will be actively reabsorbed, and other sodium that reabsorption takes place along the loop of Henle will be with the emission of water from this tubule to the interstitial cell fluid. This fluid space is called as the interstitial cell fluid. Okay. So here you can see in this picture loop of Henle, and we are focusing on this part of the kidney nephron in order to understand the connection between sodium, that is in the salt, and water, which raises the blood pressure, because blood pressure is basically the increase in the stroke volume and the peripheral resistance, and that stroke volume and peripheral resistance can only increase with the increase of fluid here. So as we go along with this, you can read all this information here. I'm telling you some critical points which help you understand the concepts better. So here is that loop of Henle you are seeing, and here is the bunch of capillaries called as vasa recti, and they ultimately goes to the renal venule, where the blood goes to the vein and then finally to the heart. This is a communication of this network which connects the tubule with the capillaries, with the set of capillaries, where all these functionalities are taking place. Now we are coming to the understanding part of it. You see that this is proximal tubule, This is loop of Henle all the way along, and this is distal convoluted tubule ending in a collecting duct, and this hole is called as an F-form. And as you see, we are now trying to understand the dynamics of the whole process of excretion with special reference to sodium active transport and passive reabsorption of water in the interstitial cell fluid. This is right here. So as you see, this is in the proximal tubule. As the filtrate is coming right in the proximal tubule, the sodium chloride is showing principally sodium here goes out. This transports out. Now you see the water also being pumped out. Now this is all along happening in the proximal convoluted tubule, where some of the reabsorption of sodium as well as water takes place. So if the sodium gets out, the water has to get out. Now in the following animation, you will see that this sodium output will increase the solute concentration. Right, he's showing the increasing concentration right in this space. What is this space? Interstitial cell fluid space, where the blood vessels are. This is the main tubule space. So this, for your information, this is called the descending tubule. This is the loop of Henle, ascending tubule. So we'll focus our discussions right here now, how this sodium will be transported. Now the concentration has increased. Now anytime we'll start our discussion right from here, the ascending loop. And this whole is a loop of Henle, but we are starting our discussion, although this process takes place simultaneously, but we are going to start our discussion right from here, so that you will know how sodium is actively transported out. Now as you see that this is all filtrate filling up this space, and this is the first step, key step taking place here. Sodium is transported out, right? You can read the discussions right here in the, and you see that this taking out the solute concentration here as well as in the vasa recti, there is a concentration of solute increases in the interstitial cell fluid. That is the fluid space outside the tubule. Now this is the cortex region and this is the medulla region down. Cortex is up, and this is all embedded in the cortex region, and this is the medulla down. Now you see water first time getting out, and this can raise the blood pressure because this water, this is anything coming out here goes into the blood, and if blood has more fluid, the cardiac output will increase and the water and the blood pressure is going to increase. Now this sodium has eventually, now remember this loop of Henle part is practically impermeable to water, but it is very much, it allows the transport of sodium. And similarly this doesn't allow solute to pass through, but it allows the diffusion of water. So now in the next we'll see sodium chloride comes out here too, because here the solute concentration is increasing. Why? Because water is pumped out. So water is pumped out of this filtrate. Naturally, anything going down, the solute concentration will increase here. When the solute concentration increases here, there is active transport of sodium out. Now this active transport of sodium out means the solute concentration in this part increases. That means water out by osmosis. Water goes out by osmosis. So for osmosis to happen, this concentration must be higher than this concentration, filtrate concentration. ICF, interstitial cell fluid concentration, must be higher than this. How does that become higher? Because how does this become higher? Because the sodium is pumped out, and sodium is a solute, and solute concentration will be higher here. Okay. Now see. This, you see there is a very thick gradient right from top to the bottom. If you see, top is low concentration and bottom is highest concentration, and this filtrate is almost isotonic with this, but this is even the same top lower concentration, and this is higher concentration. So you see the establishment of a gradient here, from low to high. You see this is high here, low here, right here. Now this eventually will pump out water from here, because this and this water pumped out from here will drive the, actually see, water started to come out. Why? Because this is osmotic entry of exit of water, because of this concentration increasing. Now as a last step, what you will see, that as the filtrate comes here, this doesn't have any sodium, the water is coming out. The reason for the water coming out eventually here, everywhere now is the osmotic exit of water, means the blood pressure is going to increase. So in a way, when you are taking more salt in your diet, sodium in your diet, you are disturbing this delicate balance, and you are increasing the concentration here. You're making the water to go out of this tubule more, and as a result of that, your blood pressure is increasing. So this is called as counter current multiplier system, because this is a counter current, and so multiplying the way the current is multiplying, the way the solute concentration shows increasing concentration gradient right over here. So if the bottom line is that sodium has to, if sodium gets out of transport, active transport, the water has to get out, and the water has to get out, the blood pressure is going to increase. So more sodium you take in your diet is going to increase the blood pressure, because any volume of water increasing, holding the water in the blood, that will increase the cardiac output. Cardiac output is the stroke volume, which the heart pumps every minute. Okay, that you studied it earlier. So with this discussions, I think you can do the lab, and you can search for other factors that in diet can increase the blood pressure. So this, if you are salt sensitive, watch your sodium and focus on the lab and the project, and good luck then. Bye.